Now, all things being equal, Mercedes probably should have been beaten in the last two Grand Prix in Germany and Hungary. They've not had the fastest car, that's been Ferrari. Yet Lewis Hamilton's won both of those races and has come away heading into Formula One's summer break with a 24-point lead in the World Championship over Sebastian Vettel. Now, Andrew Vandenberg, Autosport Media Editor-in-Chief, is with me today. They say you make your own luck. Does that mean the people making the luck in the Mercedes factory need a pay rise?
Yeah, I think they could definitely put in for one. Or maybe the people making the bad luck in the Ferrari factory need a demotion or whatever. It's ominous. Having the gap's been in the World Championship so far. But I think on the positive side, the two tracks we've got coming up, Spa and Monza, should be what we would consider to be Ferrari territory now. Because if they've got a power advantage, which people seem to suggest they have. So if they don't win those two races, then it's looking very bad for them. But I think they should have reason to feel optimistic that they can go into those and come out, and they really need to get 1-2s in both of them and absolutely limit the amount of points that Hamilton can score.
That's pretty significant, isn't it? We're not only talking about Ferrari having the best car at the moment in the recent races we've been through, but we're going to the tracks that have been considered Mercedes territory throughout the V6 hybrid era, and now saying that Ferrari should be winning there. But arguably, is this a world championship that's going to be won on your bad days? And you could say that really Mercedes have had what should have been two bad weekends, and they've won both races. So is that cause for concern for Ferrari?
I think you're right in terms of it will be run on minimising the losses, and certainly Vettel throwing away that win in Germany could really come back to haunt him. I think Mercedes and Hamilton in particular should be praised for their absolute brilliance in qualifying in Hungary, and I'm not really sure what Ferrari could have done about that. They do so little wet running now. I think it's understandable they might not have aced the wet setup, and if a driver does a genius lap, you just got to raise your hands and go well done, and clearly that was ultimately the reason they didn't win in Hungary. But they just have to counter that by winning as many as they can. That gap's still not insurmountable. If they win the next 4 races, regardless, he'll be in the lead of the championship. So they've got it all to fight for. They just need to continue the rate of development they've shown this year. I think that's been the impressive thing by Ferrari. Winter testing, we all thought it was a Mercedes walkover. First practice in Australia, we all thought it was going to be a Mercedes walkover. But the way Ferrari have been able to get on the front foot, get themselves competitive, especially over the course of a Grand Prix weekend, has been very, very promising for them. They just need to keep it up.
Now, Mercedes aren't foolish. They won't come away from these races going, oh, well, it's all fine. We've won the last 2 races. We're in good shape. They took a beating at Silverstone, which has always been Mercedes territory as well. So has the summer break perhaps come at a good time for them? Even though they had some momentum and were winning some races, they've not been the quickest. They've not had the pace advantage they've normally had. So maybe this is a chance as well for Mercedes to go, right, we've got to find something in time for Spa and Monza.
I think you're absolutely right. The notion this is a break for them is probably, there'll be people back in the factory questioning where that break's coming in. I'm sure they're going to be running all sorts of simulator programs, especially on the tyre wear, which appears to be another, that and the engine performance appears to be 2 areas where maybe there's room for improvement for them. And they're going to need it because we're coming up to 2 power tracks and ones where it's potentially could be quite hot and tyre wear is going to be significant again. But the first one, Spa, Kimi Raikkonen's best track, Ferrari absolutely need him to be there in the mix for a 1-2 if they're going to have any hope of closing that gap down.
They don't want him in front though, do you?
Ideally not, no. Or at least the way they can orchestrate there to be a little pass around the outside, maybe.
Yeah. Now, the other thing going on at Mercedes, Valtteri Bottas, in the last 2 races, he's kind of ended up in a supporting role. He got told to stop racing Lewis Hamilton in Germany for the win, and there was a bit of confusion in Hungary when he got called a wingman by Toto Wolff. And I think I understand Mercedes' position on that. I don't think they were saying he is the number 2, has to help at all times, but it was a wingman's performance that Bottas put in when he held up the Ferraris for so long that Lewis Hamilton was able to get away. Is Bottas going to have a big role to play when we come back from the summer break though, for Hamilton potentially?
Yeah, I think both number 2s are absolutely crucial now, and I think maybe it was just a semantic misunderstanding about what that means, but that's what he did. He played the wingman role. He defended Hamilton, allowed him to get that comfortable break, especially with the pit window, and that's what teammates are there for. You've got to be able to exploit the performance of the car, but you also need to be able to be involved in the tactical, strategical element of it, and I think Mercedes deployed him perfectly. It was the right call in Germany to not make him fight Hamilton in tricky conditions, and they did the right thing here as well. They covered off Kimi to prevent him potentially attacking Hamilton as well. So I don't see that he can complain. I mean, he's almost 100 points behind in the championship. He's not going to win this World Championship. I mean, that's just the fact. But he can play an enormous role in stopping Vettel accumulating points.
Yeah, and he's had to, in Hungary in particular, it was a very difficult drive to execute that. So we've seen two things. We've seen the fight from him, and I kind of like the fact that he was maybe a little bit riled by that comment, even if it was a misunderstanding, which I'm prepared to accept. But I also like that in Germany, when a firm team order came in, he did accept it. You know, he's playing all the roles that you could. He's fighting when they want him to, and I feel a little bit sorry for him that they've told him to be tougher in battle, and then when he tried to get tough with Hamilton in Germany, they said, not now. But let's see, because there's a Constructors' Championship to fight for here as well, so the battle of the Finns in the second cars is going to be equally important.
And I'm sure there will be circumstances will come up where he will win a race this season. You know, he just has to keep on being at the right place at the right time, and in qualifying, if you can put it on pole, even better.